Welcome to part 3 of Let's Just Play Akiba's Trip, brought to you this time in post-commentary, because I am an utter failure when it comes to audio. I've had to do this before with, Shin Megami Tensei 3, but, right now we're analyzing for synthesizers. It's been a while since I recorded this footage, so I kind of forget what happens through remote. Well, I mean, I do remember some of it, but here I'm starting a battle, and here I'm showing off the new editing I'm going to do for battles that don't really matter. I'm just going to show off all the stripping. You know, the most important part of this gameplay. Here I managed to get myself a beautiful chain strip combo just long enough to get their underwear. I don't know how long it has to be now that I think about it. This video was originally a lot longer, but thankfully, editor me cut it down short enough that doing a post-commentary of this won't be too difficult. I'm not really sure what prompted me to just strip all these people, besides the fact that it's just hilarious to run around stripping random people on the street and take their clothing. Yeah, this happens multiple times in this video. Gotta make sure you get a good close-up of it. Like, I don't remember ever seeing that when I played this on PS4. Like 2013, 2014. It seems to be like a very kind of... I don't want to say it's like super buggy, because it's not, but it's a little weird at times. Anyway, where we left off last time is we had to meet up with Kadi.
Let's finish it with haste. I think we can find all of the things right around here at Akiba.
Now, Kadi, she's foreign.
Okay, I'll go get everything and be right out.
I never noticed before, by the way, that in the background, those are 3D models.
Oh, wait.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I can't believe I've never noticed that. So I don't know what's, like, I don't know if that's just all part of the background, or, like, if the game takes, takes where we are in 3D, just pauses. No, that can't be what happens. Anyway. It just blows my mind. I literally never noticed that before. That only Kadi is 2D.
We need this, and this, and this. Yes, I think the shopping list from Pops is now complete. And the weather is still so nice. Let's go through UD Plus on our way back and take in the sights.
Right now, Kadi is our partner. She will follow us back to UD Plus and then to Pops' place as well. I forget the name of the arcade. You know, after seeing that logo, it just makes me sad that you can't run into a guy in a Sonic mascot outfit and you can't just rip off his clothes. That would be awesome if there was mascot costumes that you could just run up to them and strip them and take them off. And then just wear them and run around. That'd be great. I decided to switch to the high-quality wooden sword. I thought it would just be... Oh, no, never mind. I forgot I used the double, triple... I originally wanted to use the high-quality wooden sword, but then I thought to myself that it would be too similar to the wooden sword, I'll find out I was actually wrong about that. They're actually two different weapons, and they have more different properties than I thought they would. But I decided to show off the double, triple Suribide because it's a fist weapon, and I've mostly been using the sword-type weapon. I want to try to show off as many weapons as in this game as possible, but as we're going to see in one fight, that could be pretty difficult.
Thank you. I'm sorry to ask you for your help on such a day, since I know you're so sensitive to the sunlight. Ooh, that sounds like a very heroic thing to say. It makes you sound so dependable. What? Maybe I'm just imagining things, but I feel like that man has been staring at us since we got here. He is not a friend, is he? Maybe he's a synthester.
That guy has a cool sword.
Hmm?
I like swords.
Oh, my apologies. I have no business with you, rest assured. I was simply watching the city.
Are you sightseeing?
Something like that. I'm rather akin to a stranger in a strange land here. And truly, this is a strange land. Everyone is hurrying off to some distant goal, as if being pushed along by unseen hands. What is it about this town that fascinates them all so, I wonder?
Not only can you wear crazy things and not get arrested, you can also just strip people of their crazy things and not be arrested.
All sorts of crazy excitement. And that excitement is owned by everyone and can be enjoyed
Akiba, a
freely
place where
by
you can be
everyone.
free to steal.
So much that the world takes notice.
So it's a comfortable place.
This is sort of kind of why I like Japanese games. They can take ridiculous concepts and they will play them
different somehow.
not always 100% straight, but straighter than you would in, say, if a Western team developed this game.
If you'll excuse me.
Japan is willing to go miles ahead for just ideas you normally wouldn't take seriously, but sometimes Japan can, Japanese anime, just like my Japanese animes. Sometimes Japanese animes can take a very crazy concept and then do it in such a way that makes you go, oh wow, this is actually pretty good. Also, I hate when people say stuff like that. If this were a video game, it'd be important. I'm getting tired of all this meta talk. Just be people. Stop doing the whole, oh, if this were a game, he'd be important. Just ticks me off. Just gets really old when it feels like all of these types of games do it. Yeah, I got into a fight and ended up losing massively, so I just decided to cut to the end.
We have returned.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for all your help.
As I was talking about earlier, like, this game tries to give all of these reasons as to why we have to strip people, and it's trying to build an actual plot around it. Now, whether or not that plot is actually good is a different discussion. It's not really good. But the fact that there is an attempt with such a wild out there idea is something I can appreciate. Though I also appreciate that the game's not super serious about it. It's lighthearted enough, but also has enough world building, if that's the right term. Even though the world building logic is stupid in terms of strip a synthestor down and they'll be more sensitive to sunlight.
We'll take the area around
But
the
like,
station.
you
two
know,
take
what I've been
Jackson.
saying,
Make sure you come back and
so much of their skin is exposed constantly. They could be down to their bra and panties, but because they're wearing a hat, they will still be fine. So that reasoning doesn't work. I do appreciate the wild out there ideas, which is why when I originally discovered this game, it was from a Let's Player who was playing it and not taking it very seriously. As you can see, as you can see, this game is not one to be taken very seriously. But I liked the fact that it was so out there. It's so crazy, so stupid. I love me some wild, stupid ideas, whether or not they work. Gaming as a medium can be used to explore. You know, usually when people talk about art, they're always talking about serious topics. You could talk about... what's a thing to bring up that's not too depressing? Well, I guess you could just talk about serious topics. Games can be used to explore things, such as being in abusive households. Games can be used to explore depression, anxiety, loneliness, having an existential crisis. Games can explore all these things. But I feel like what people kind of miss when talking about art is that it can also just explore dumb shit. Like, hey, what if you could kill vampires by removing their clothing? Like, yeah, it's not a serious discussion that'll further us as a society. But why not? I feel like we do need that balance of both. Even though it can be disappointing when a game is bad, I feel like we should still take time to appreciate someone for trying something new. I'll usually not hate something just because it's bad, unless it was extremely incompetent. Although extremely incompetent could be hilarious. But what will usually make me hate something isn't even so much if it's bad, just so much that it's very corporate, typically.
I'm not sensing any synthesters
Oh no,
here,
this fight.
but I am getting a feel for the town. Is it always so boisterous?
I'll try to remember to
I
get back to
think
my
I
point.
Actually kind of like it. The place where I was raised was deep in the countryside, away from everything. I'm not quite sure how to say this, but even though there are other lively towns all throughout Japan, I get the feeling there aren't many
This game
others
really
quite
likes
like
Akihabara.
Akiba.
This game feels like it was made by
The
people
fact
who
that
are
such a place
actual fans of
really exists,
Akihabara, to the point
it's
where they
almost
even
divine
just
in
tried to
nature,
fully recreate it.
as if all this were brought
I might be
together
wrong, but
by
I'm
God.
pretty sure all the places and
There.
shops in this
The group of
game
people over
are
by that bargain
also
sale.
real.
They're synthesters. Come on.
You're synthester hunters! Worthless scum! How can you stand against our glorious vision?
This game,
We've been
along with, I
promised
believe, The World
record
Ends
for
with You, I
defeating
think
you.
that one also
Let
takes
it
place in
die.
Akiba.
In the name of
Those two
limited edition
games
strippers
made
and
me
figure
really want to go. Welcome to what this game calls difficulty. It just throws a bunch of people at you. This weapon has a pretty cool combo. I can't remember. Oh, that's the... I'm gonna call it the heavy attack. It pretty much kind of makes you... I don't want to say invincible. You'll still take damage while doing it. I'm not sure if they can interrupt that. They probably can't. I don't know if they can strip you during it or anything. I haven't tested that. But it's good for getting people off of you. I believe that's the head attack. The one that lets you juggle them in the air. It's pretty decent. I really like the fact that I originally thought if a weapon was of a certain type, they would all have pretty much the same animations. Minus maybe like a couple, you know, maybe this one weapon might have a unique head attack. But no, they're a lot more unique and have a lot more different properties, or at least from what I experienced from Part 3. That makes me happy. Makes me really want to try out all the different weapons rather than just sticking to a favorite. Although sometimes the weapons can have pretty bad, like, that attack has pretty bad range. Again, it pretty much is uninterruptible, which is nice, but it's so awkward to hit anyone with it. Here I am running into a group of enemies like a smart person. What kind of makes fighting a group of enemies annoying, though, is... I believe previously I talked about how this game has a sort of rock, paper, scissors mentality. Although it's not always entirely true, because some of the ultimate, or some of the heavy attacks have armor frames. But basically, light attacks beat heavy, heavy beats block, block beats light attack. This is annoying in large group fights. Heavy attacks usually have a wind-up, you know, like you saw there. That makes sense. It's a heavy attack. It's supposed to have a warning to it. The light attack is the quicker one, obviously. However, if you're trying to use a heavy attack on someone blocking, someone else that you're trying to attack may just light attack to knock you out of it. Basically, because blocking allows you to dodge every light attack, it forces you to use heavy attacks, which slows you down and allows enemies to do any attack they want on you. It doesn't help that these are very tight alleyways. Like, look at them all grouped up there. Like, that would be... I mean, there's plenty of room for me to move around, don't get me wrong, but if I get stuck down an alleyway, these people are gonna clog it. Here's me finally learning how to use the counterattack. It's actually... the timing's really not that strict. Like, once you see yourself dodge the attack, just hit the attack button afterwards, and you should do a counter most of the time. Although here's that automatic camera switching, constantly messing me up and throwing me off guard. Speaking of groups of enemies being annoying, whenever you're trying to stay guarded to prevent light attacks, that's when an enemy is going to start heavy attacking you. So you have to get out of the way of that, while also trying to keep in mind that enemies are surrounding you to light attack you. Yes, this move you seem to have to do preemptively, or like in the middle of their combo, so that way they can't just get out of it. so short range, it's hard to use properly. Yet I will keep trying and get a game over doing it. Eventually. Spoiler, this section takes me quite a couple of attempts. I figured I had finally gotten better because the idol fight from the previous part is where I originally got stuck. So I figured, oh, I beat that one without too much difficulty. So maybe the game's not as hard as I remember. Maybe not necessarily hard, just not necessarily as annoying in large group fights. It is cool that these different weapons have different animations and different heavy attacks, and sort of like different properties to get used to. But I feel like because all of your skills are kind of entirely dependent on the weapon, it does make you want to use a lot of weapons. But still, once you've kind of seen a lot of it, you know, yeah, maybe like the guitar and the leak stick and the poster, and all of these other weapons have different moves you can use with them. But you're still kind of mostly just attacking. You know, it may not be a fair comparison, but I was thinking back to something like Kingdom Hearts, where you don't only have attacks, but you also have, like, all these... Oh, okay, it looks like I can be... Yeah, whenever the characters... Yeah. That gets really annoying. Really, really annoying. Back to Kingdom Hearts. That one has so many additional moves that you can learn over time. You can't really learn new moves. You can get new weapons. I'm using a high-quality wooden sword, which, again, I'm showing off some of the different things it does. It actually, like, the wooden sword is mostly a 3-hit combo. This one goes over. That made me happy. In Kingdom Hearts, you can learn new moves, which makes the combat feel more refreshing. In this, you don't really learn new moves. You get new weapons which have different attacks, and those different attacks can do different things. But your character is still just at their base. I mean, yeah, their stats go up. But there's nothing to really refresh the combat. Not to say that it feels repetitive. Again, the different weapons do prevent this repetitive feeling. But I feel like there's something more they could have added. Now I'm just back to the one sword because it's my highest damage weapon, and I was getting sick of this fight. I'm not sure what they could have added. Maybe some base abilities, or maybe being able to level... I don't know. They probably didn't have a super huge budget, so I don't think they could have added, like... Oh yeah, I came here to, like, grind for a bit, see if I can get some new clothing with higher durability. But unfortunately, I'm just facing women. I can't really strip women for their clothes because I can't wear women's clothing yet. Which is a shame because their clothing apparently has higher durability. Here's something I completely forgot about when it came to strip skills. I believe that long paragraph probably explained it, and I just missed it. Oops. I believe as you try to strip certain types of clothing, you'll get better at it to a point where you can always strip it off 100% without it being torn, so that way you can get it into your inventory. having other strip skills... I'm just mainly trying to think of what could have been done. Because this game doesn't need too much more. I think it just needs something to strive for in terms of a character build. Although that may defeat the purpose. Maybe I'm overthinking it. This game is mostly just being able to express yourself through your playable character by wearing the outfits you like and by using the weapon that you think is the most fun to use. It's time to strip down a schoolboy. Pretty sure the FBI is going to be knocking down my door any minute now. This guy had such a completely different art style. I felt like I had to show him. At first, I thought it was bizarre that one woman, I think in the May Cafe, she looked different from the art style of the game. And then I saw this guy, and I was like, oh, they're probably just trying to copy the art style of the original location. If I am right about that. That is actually a pretty neat detail. This game does seem to just be one gigantic love letter to Akihabara. It's just too bad that it's a game... Well, if you don't know what the game's about by now, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And just continuing my quest to grind by going to the battle arena. Plus, I really should show this off over the course of the game. That was a counter strip. I just had to show that off. These are also 3 separate battles that I just cut into one strip mega clip. Yes! Now I got my favorite strip style. Again, this strip style just is cosmetic. It's a good cosmetic, though. It changes your strip animations completely. And it makes me happy. I'll be showing off others, but when I'm not showing off others, I will be mainly sticking to Drunken Fist. Look at how good these are! These are some good animations. Especially this one. This one's my favorite. Although it's hard to see due to the combo chain in the top right. One thing that... Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, your partner is not very good in this game. They have high damage when they hit something. Or someone, rather. They have high damage output, but they don't last long. I feel like Shizuku was supposed to be my main way of not getting totally aggroed by everybody. Totally aggroed by everyone, meaning they all just target me. But she goes down very quickly. I could have swore there would also be orders you could give them to make them more or less aggressive, or have them attack the same person you're attacking, or have them defend you. There's other icons in the lower left, like the D-pad down is for opening items, and then there are these other D-pad options that I hit, it feels like it doesn't do anything. But yeah, I skipped to the end here. Figured I had shown myself getting a game over in that battle enough times.
Are you alright? You're not injured, are you?
My pride's injured.
We have a new problem. The organization is aware of us. They know we're hunting synthesters.
It's almost like
this fight,
we're hunting people in broad daylight.
We should return to Mogra.
Looks like everybody's here. So let's get this strategy meeting underway.
Chief, I'd like to point out that our primary person of interest has just fallen asleep on us.
Damn it! Wake the hell up!
Well, that did the trick.
You sure weren't sleeping too well, though, judging by all that noise you were. Are you okay?
You must be exhausted.
Well, okay.
I should have said the middle option. Should have said I was binging anime. Binging Silverfang. I gotta see my hunting dogs fighting bears, man.
What are you fighting so hard for? It's not just obligation, and I don't think it's even revenge.
I've had that same question. You were never one to stick your neck where it didn't belong. But now you dive right in head first every time, whether or not you can see the water.
You think maybe you were really a hero inside this whole time, and you just had to get stronger before you could show it. I mean, you are kickboxing.
Well,
with
sword fighting rather than
vampires, you know?
kickboxing, but still fighting vampires because I'm a badass.
I see. Well, just remember this. You may be a lot of things, but alone isn't one of them.
That's right. Taking everything on all
Oh,
by
believe me, I
yourself
end up
really
alone whenever one of you guys gets knocked down near instantly.
Even if you just need some moral support, we'll always be here for you. We'll even listen to you rant if that's what you need. And we'll always give you our best advice. Although, don't ask Kaito's advice about girls.
What? Why? I know all the right dialogue options for every dating sim there is. Anyway, can we move on? I hate that this whole ordeal's been all about you. I want in on the glory.
And the truth
Oh
comes
no,
out.
are we setting up for a betrayal arc with Kaito?
Sheesh. Let's just
Is he
focus
going to
on
try to
this.
become a synthester?
Ain't been no reports
Or
about
whatever
any of
we
this in
are?
the mass media, so the average Akiba citizen probably has no
Does he
clue
want the
what
glory?
up.
The subject has been
Is there
brought
drama
up
brewing?
now
Oh.
and again, but it generally gets dismissed as bogus by everyone else, and then that's the end of it.
We should find some way of letting people know about the danger they're in, even if it's nothing quite as large scale as a news report.
I agree. We need to get the word out to avoid the roads less traveled and keep out of dimly lit parts of town even during the day.
Oh, yes! I know! How about we have somebody famous spread our warning?
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Like, if we could get Rin to tell people, we'd be set.
Especially if she told it to people during her live tour. That would definitely get the message across. What do you think, Shizuku?
I'm sure it'd be that easy to get close to a pop star and tell her, hey, could you just tell people to avoid going out in weird areas? Why? Oh, it's nothing.
Something got
Just
her
a
flushed
safety
in a hurry.
precaution.
Is she one of those
It's a PSA. It's a Rin says.
Now that you mention it, she seemed kind of distant when we were heading off to Rin's street show, too.
Yeah, me too. Come on, let's all split up and look for her. I'll check Main Street, you head to the side streets. Don't worry, we'll find her.
We will have to find... Oh, I failed the mission. I forgot that there are time limits in the missions. But yes, we will have to find Shizuku next time on part 4. Or hopefully I don't have to do this post-commentary because, oh my gosh, this was a drag.